Good evening. Welcome to the Monday, July 24th, 2023 public board meeting of the Kingston City Land Bank. My name is Mike Gilliard. I'm the executive director. We do ask that members of the public limit their comments to no more than 2 minutes per speaker. And as always, our agenda and advance notice of this meeting has been posted on our website. With that, I turn it over to Mr. Daniel Cantor, board chair.
Hi everyone, I call this meeting to order. Real quick, we'll need to do the roll call. My name is Daniel Cantor, board chair.
I want to get started.
Ethel Knox.
Eric Tobin.
Sean Dorman.
Me Hannigan.
Great. Can we vote to accept prior meeting minutes as uploaded to YouTube?
Motion to accept prior meeting minutes and upload to YouTube.
All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. I wasn't trying to pressure. And I would just like to entertain a motion to approve this gorgeous agenda.
Thank you.
Motion.
All right, we can't all. I'll consider one as a second. All in favor of approving the meeting agenda? Motion passes unanimously. We're doing great. Okay. I don't have a ton, but Mike has been very busy this month. So we, as you guys know, put out an RFP for architecture services for the Legacy Cities Road 2, as well as for a potential new development project. Both of those have come in, they've been discussed, they will be discussed more later in the meeting. Thank you for doing that, and outreach that you guys did to solicit great responses. We have really good options. The cleanouts of the 4 Legacy Cities houses have been completed, aside from a bunch of paint left over in the garage. Otherwise, we're
Little punch list.
yeah, but
Something good.
no. But we can now get to all the rooms, which is very easy. We've received communication from the city that there is a indefinite delay on the decisions, well, the verdict on 20 Stefan, which we applied for, we submitted a proposal for, and for 28 Abbey, which we have authorization to purchase, but this is a result of the Supreme Court ruling and the potential moratorium on foreclosures, and the city trying to stay out of legal trouble. So we are trying to manage the situation, and it's tricky because we kind of need to know, particularly on Abbey, if we can include it in Legacy Cities Route 2 or not. So
Thank you.
we will.
Oh my God.
Hi. Hello and welcome. We last meeting voted to procure services from a real estate firm to list 111 Downs for sale. That's underway. They're excited to get the listing live. I'm gonna be trying to promote that listing through the Cheap Old Houses Instagram account and potentially their associated brands, which will reach a very large audience and hopefully find us someone who really wants to restore that house because it's such a good flat. That's kind of it. For me. Cool. We now have a public comments period, Sarah. I'm not sure if you would like to. That's me. Okay, we're gonna cruise through that then, and Michael,
Yes, sir.
it's gonna take a moment to shine.
Okay, go. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being flexible to join in this meeting room. I believe going forward, we will stay in conference room number 1 across the hall. There was just a scheduling conflict for another meeting that was rescheduled. I will try to keep my thoughts on this brief, but as always, it's in 3 buckets. You got pre-development updates, You have the new funding updates, then you have other, which is anything I think of at the last minute to try to throw in my notes. Our pipeline remains at least 8 properties. As Daniel touched on, we're somewhat in a little bit of limbo, but we are working on that to try to get some clarity on anticipated timelines, specifically for the council to hopefully make a approval of the disposition. There's a separate path that the city is pursuing to navigate possible legal challenges as a result of all the stuff that's been going on. But the first piece of it would be to get council approval. So we're hoping to have it be introduced at the August finance meeting for a vote to go to the council during that month. So more updates as that comes in, and it's an ongoing, evolving conversation that we're working together with the city to try to resolve. I have set up a meeting with Corporation Counsel to that effect to try to just kind of touch base and figure out what their timeline is. And I know we talked on Friday about sending written communications, but I think that's probably a good first step. And then following that meeting, depending on how we all feel about it, a formal communication could be sent to the finance committee just to note specifically that this really is, as Daniel said, like we're kind of can't wait too long. We have to make a decision on this one way or the other. No hard feelings, but a lot of things are in motion that we'll talk about. Also, along that framework for moving forward with the city had requested that we conduct broker price opinions. So this is it's a version of an appraisal light. And so we conducted a public RFP. The bidding was not such that we would have to do an RFP, that it's $150 per property, but thought it was a good thing to be at arm's length for anyone to ask, how did you select someone to determine the value of properties? Public RFP. So that has been awarded. It's underway. It starts tomorrow, estimated a week and a half to have those turned around to the city. I did tell the city 2 weeks. I'm trying to deliver on, better timelines than what I say in other meetings. So just to sort of follow up on that Senate bill that has passed both houses, as the Senate bill was appropriated into the Assembly bill, it passed the Senate version, and there it sits. And this is sort of the weird mechanics of how things work in Albany. It has not been presented to the governor. So that clock has not started, and there are those, I'm told, working on it to insert into that a moratorium on new foreclosures, except for vacant, dilapidated properties. So that would give us a window to continue down that path, but we shall see. I don't know how sausage is made in Albany. I don't want to know. That's just my latest on that. And no updates on NCST, no new properties this month, but we remain hopeful that something will come from that. Pre-development, we're at 8 properties, the same as last month. So this is Legacy Cities 2. We have moved forward with having approval to fund some certain pre-development activities. So as Daniel mentioned, we're doing clean out, yay. We're doing temporary electric, yay. We have an architecture package coming in front of you tonight for a vote, yay. Thank you very much, Owen, for managing all of that and keeping all the balls in the air. I know it's not easy to juggle all those different vendors. We have some joining. Okay, so that's what's going on with Legacy Cities 2. As Daniel mentioned, 3rd Avenue, the preliminary the vote for preliminary architecture will be tonight. That was a very intense process, and thank you so much, Kyle, for sticking with it, sticking with me, just as Owen did with the RFP on Legacy Cities, but this was somewhat on steroids and involved some new faces that we really wanted to vet and bring to you tonight a recommendation. The new zoning code, my understanding is, will be effective August 1st, so I think it's worth pausing for a second and giving a big congrats to Mr. Bartek Stardine for that. That has not taken place in any of our lifetimes, and it may never take place again. But congratulations on it, sincerely. Also on 3rd Avenue, we are in contract for 156, 162 2nd Avenue, so we can talk about that publicly. The deposit has been wired today. We're buying that property. That's the full assemblage of the site, save one crazy little piece that we're still working on. So we have site control of the full site. So that's good. As Daniel mentioned, we're moving forward with discussions that are in front of you tonight. We'll be having a broker on Down Street. So that's the other pre-development piece. That's all 8 properties. New funding updates, no change from last month, as the amount of available funding that we're looking at is still $4.2 million. However, we did have preliminary conversations with ESD around the Mid-Hudson Momentum Fund, and they had recommended that we come back in the fall. Actually, they'd like to see it a little bit more put together this before we apply to them for this. So we have a kickoff meeting tomorrow, Kyle and I, midday, with the regional project manager. We're excited to get their feedback as we jump into it with the architects around planning for what it could be on the site and looking at the funding source to see what needs to be on the site in order to qualify. And so more updates on that.
Who is the regional manager? Sure.
Monique, forgot her last name so far, but haven't met her yet. So I may know her actually. I know it's a small world, but tomorrow we'll meet with her. She was on vacation. So we're still working with the city of Kingston on an ARPA agreement for which we would be a subrecipient, hoping to have comments back from the city for the next round soon and respond to those. LBI phase one, thank you, Stacy. We have $100,000 left to draw down, but I'm sure we'll get a calendar invite and then we'll start working on the next quarterly requisition for that. Congressional funds for Third Avenue, no news to report on Gillibrand's recommendation to Congress. Technically, it's authorized, but not yet funded, although I did find that last year the Senate Appropriations Committee decisions were released on July 28th, so we'll see. Final piece in the funding category is the City of Kingston's ARPA nonprofit grant, which we applied for the maximum of $25,000. Just for some history, the initial responses were going to come back to us in mid-June, then that turned into mid-July, now the end of July, and today they've just asked for additional information, which thankfully we'd already provided in our application. We just had to highlight that. I think they received a ton of applications. We should hear back, I say every month by the next month, but we'll see. Other category, the only thing I would say is just to highlight, we have no meeting in August. It's the first time we've done it. I fully expect to walk in here, open this place up, and then remember that, but that is my report.
You can do it.
Okay, hopefully I'll be somewhere else, but
Yeah.
probably not.
Great. Thank you.
Very well.
We had a member of the public. They left as soon as they went.
Board submission.
All right. Would you like to give the ADC?
Yeah, I think most of it's gonna be, these guys are here, but, I'll just say quickly though, because just looking at this, realizing also this past week that, the next week committees, I held, because of Bob's departure and Nate shifting over, I am now the chair of the next three committees. So if anybody would like to take over one, like Jordan, please, I am not territorial about any of them. I am open, but I'm happy to fill the role as well, so talk after.
I'll get back to you next month.
Next month it will be. Next month.
So I guess to start, we'll pass it over to Owen for his construction update on Legacy Cities 1.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
So let's see what we have got going on. Well, before we get to Legacy Cities 1, we got Franklin Street, which is underway. It's end of July now. We're targeting a mid-January wrap up of that project, and the end to that house's 40-year journey of not being able to be lived in. Excited to be making major progress on that house now and really cooking with gas on it now that we've got a different contractor in there. Legacy Cities 1, we're kind of having a turn in the project where we got two houses that are essentially done. One is totally done, German Street, and East Union is got like 1.5 punch list items that are being waiting on, but essentially ready to go. And now we are moving on to the second half of the year, which is where Hurley Avenue and Rogers Street are the focus for that program, and Hurley is really entering its end game. And Rogers Street is just getting going, really. Legacy Cities 2, as everybody mentioned, we had an architect RFP, and when I'm done giving updates, I want to ask a follow-up question to everybody about that. But basically, we had 4 firms walk through the sites, and 3 firms submit proposals, and we got a number of qualified proposals on that. We have had a little bit of more kind of security issues on these sites, more than we've experienced in the past, and so I've been doing a little bit more boarding up, and just added some more locks today, and got some lights I'm going to install. But I think now that we're cleaning out and continuing to show that we're taking care of the properties, I think that'll move in the right direction. As mentioned, cleanouts happened, and we got kind of this backlog of contracts in different stages that we've been sitting on as we wait for the LBI2 funding to get freed up. And now that we can spend money on these properties, we're trying to get these different phases happening. So we got cleanouts going, and then next week, or this week, we're supposed to do electric service. And then shortly thereafter, we're going to do asbestos testing. We're going to do lead surveys this week, and more after that. So circling back to the architect RFP, I don't know if we. I guess I just wanted to check with the group or maybe Aaron about whether you all feel like you know what you need to approve this RFP contract moving forward for Legacy Cities 2.
Well, I think
the committee probably got it.
I thought we were voting today. We're voting today on awarding that contract. I think it's next on the agenda is to discuss those responses and vote.
Okay, great. Yeah, I guess I want to make sure that you're knew what you needed to prove as far as contract amount. And
I think we have, I'm just going through
That summary sheet.
It's not in the-
It's not in the package. Oh, maybe Owen could summarize or share.
I could share my screen, yeah.
Oh,
I
sure.
feel like that might be the way to do it.
I mean, I got it right here. I just don't know, I just didn't know if you want me to share it, Mike, or.
My thinking was in not putting it out there was just to not go too deep beyond what ADC did. If it moved through ADC to recommend a vendor and it was in accordance with the policies. We'll post this meeting within 2 weeks, and we will have informed the non-successful bidders and the successful bidders by that point. So we didn't do it for Third Avenue for the same reason. We just kind of included the proposal.
Maybe suffice to say for everyone else, the recommendation from the committee is the same architecture services we used for first draft of Legacy Cities, so no quantity, everyone likes them.
And I think it's the most affordable.
And
proposal as well. But all the actual responses to the proposal are in the board package.
Only the proposal that came out of ADC is in the board package. Owen could bring up and summarize. I will note that the individual who jumped on and jumped off real quick is from one of the teams on Third Avenue.
Yeah.
So I thought it would be awkward if people were on and you were evaluating. That was my thought. But what do you want to do?
So,
Bring him up.
I'm okay not bringing up I guess, I don't know, since someone's here, I feel less bad bringing up the finances so people can see it and understand it.
Sure.
Would you mind sharing your screen?
Yeah, sure.
This won't go up immediately, but at that point we'll have.
We will have negotiated the contract and.
Okay. So.
Everybody with me here?
Yep.
So this is a very, coarse look at the situation. And, sometimes when we're discussing this committee, we might discuss it before we just look at this overall price, because sometimes there's subtleties to the situation. But we have 3 qualified applicants. You can see where their firms are here. You can see that there's a $50,000 differential between who I believe the ADC committee is recommending versus the next least expensive proposer. And just for context, we did ask for these firms to give their proposals in the form of an hourly fee with a not to exceed number, which this is not the full picture really, because these firms, they'll give a whole sheet where they'll tell you, what the principal charges, and then what a drafter charges, and an architect that's not a partner, and so there really are many different rates, but this is just to give you a sample of where the rates are. And then just to tell you a little bit about my experience. Oh, I guess another thing to highlight is that we did not get any firms that were WBE certified or MBE certified. And we have worked with LMV before from Poughkeepsie. We're working with them on Legacy Cities 1. And we did receive a little bit of a discount on Gill because they've done some previous work on Gill, so they're sort of familiar and based in on it.
This is because Gil was previously maybe going to be a part of the first round of Legacy Cities. So they did some initial work on that site, and then it was pulled, but because of that, they just discounted it in their proposal. And their proposal is in the board package, the proposal for the firm that we recommend, that the ADC committee's recommended. Go ahead, Owen.
Yeah, I guess I could join on, but the basics is that I've had a positive experience working with LMV. I think they're a good partner for this program and have a good balance of responsiveness and dealing with the detail, and also not overdoing it and sometimes letting the project just happen. And their prices are on the low side, but we've had the experience with them that they are sticking to that pricing and trying to make it work. So that was my recommendation to the ADC committee. And so as you can see, this total price that they have for not to exceed is $73,000. So I would hope that you guys authorize some not to exceed number that's above that we could go into contract with them on.
Should I entertain a motion to authorize Mike to go into contract with Luscombe McCormick and
Van Voorhis, I believe, but props to you for trying it.
I got the first at a price not to exceed 80,000.
Motion, second.
Yeah, there you go.
So moved.
All in.
Any discussion? Bob's not here to tell you that the next step is coming to this discussion.
Any discussion? Barring none. All in favor of authorizing Mike to enter into contract with LMV at a price not to exceed $80,000. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you all. Go ahead. You guys,
No. I was thinking we jump into the Legacy 1 financing update.
yeah, so Kyle, do you want me to share my screen or you got it?
I can share my screen.
Go for it.
I thought I could, 1 second. Okay. Second. Cool. Not a ton to report here, basically echoing Owen's statements here. We've wrapped up German and Union.
the remaining funds balances you see here are developer fees and some project savings we have there, and then some ongoing carrying costs that we're gonna have throughout the project. But yeah, as you can see, we're approaching the end with Hurley and Rogers. We're just kind of starting to pick up on. We've drawn down on all the Novo funds. We have for a couple of months now, so now we're drawing down on CPC and HCR funds more or less evenly. But yeah, we're on schedule, on budget. Everything looks good here. Now it's time to report.
Incredible.
For this next item, could I recommend if the board is interested in reviewing all 8 of the bids, that this would be an example where property not being acquired under discussion, value of which could be affected by.
Executive session.
I would recommend, same as we did for ADC if people want to.
Okay, just so we can actually talk about it. So, can I entertain a motion to do executive session to discuss the, Third Avenue preliminary architectural contract RFP? So moved. All in favor?
Discussion.
Discussion? All, discussion, all in favor? Alright. So can we go here and get a motion to authorize Mike to enter into contract with the firm we discussed at the price we discussed for the Third Avenue preliminary architectural RFP.
We can say.
Second.
Yeah, oh, because it'll be.
Yeah.
I think you can articulate.
Okay, yeah, all right.
Damn, you thought of that.
So with framework and large lab, I can say the number too.
Not to exceed.
Not to exceed $40,000.
So moved. What did you just say?
Second. All in favor of authorizing Mike Gilead to enter into contract with framework and there's not to exceed price of $40,000. Thank you.
Thank you.
One. Motion passes unanimously. Okay.
Perfect. So I think the final item at ABC is the disposition of 111 Downs, and trying to get to a point where we can authorize Mike to enter into a brokerage agreement for the sale of 111 Downs. Let me go, starting to scroll down in the, here it is. So I think we had previously discussed, I wasn't at the last board meeting, but I don't recall, but we previously discussed the responses to the
I think
RFP,
I guess we agreed to go into contract with them, but not specifically. Oh,
I think that was.
because tonight we're voting.
Like an offer price and a process that we hadn't discussed
okay.
last month. We hadn't gotten there with the broker.
Gotcha.
I don't see any resolutions.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Secretary.
So, I guess as updates, the firm did a walkthrough of the site. The firm that, the broker, Hudson Modern, did a walkthrough of the site, slightly revised down what they thought it should go for to, was it 189? Is that, remember that correctly? 189. As I guess reminder of background, even though I think most of us know this is a site that is a big old Victorian that we didn't think we could actually renovate to be affordable homeownership. And which this is our first time kind of doing, or really second time, I guess, kind of doing an as-is sale to somebody else. I think it's different from the other situation in that this is a rare time when we could actually get money real money for a site that we could use for Third Avenue or a future development project. It's a beautiful building. So updates, Cheap Old Houses, right, is going to promote it through Daniel
Yes,
as intended, help us get it.
is the plan.
The firm, after our ADC meeting, Mike, we had some questions for Hudson Modern. Mike reached out to them. They agreed to let us review photos and copy for their marketing materials. They're fine with the concept of having interested purchasers submit they want us to, so I'm not following I'm reading your notes, I'm not following.
But I was writing that quickly when I was running up,
Yeah.
so I just finished it. We had said at the EDC meeting that we would like it to somewhat look like our previous as-is sales, where there's a proposal that's submitted to the board to review. So I had pulled the Henry Street RFP, and section 4 was sort of where we laid that out. I was gonna start there and maybe tweak it a little
So
bit.
we're gonna give them a question to give to all interested purchasers, so people can say, right, so we're not just taking a number, we're also taking some other context along with any offers for the site.
Okay.
And then they wanna launch the listing next Wednesday, which is actually great. And
We've already approved them, like this is just reviewing.
so this, yeah, so what are we voting on right now?
I think we're voting on, okay, I think we're voting on. How do you do this? So if they list the house next Wednesday and we start to get bids, did we ask them about doing all offers due by X?
I did ask them, and I wanted to coordinate that with I did ask them for a date. I don't think they understood me, but I was gonna coordinate it with the next ADC meeting so that or whatever you say,
Oh.
maybe 2 ADC meetings.
Well, realistically, like, we have to, I guess we could approve Mike to enter into a contract at a not too number.
I have another idea is, because the board won't be meeting in August, but ADC will be meeting in August. Could we authorize ADC to authorize Mike to go into the,
Sure.
say like,
That would be a way to do it, so that we don't, because I think you should just authorize me to enter into a brokerage agreement and like run the brokerage thing,
oh,
and then come back with a contract
oh.
and proposals that ADC approves. If the board approves, ADC will approve. me to-
Gotcha, okay. Yeah, yeah.
So if the, just trying to timeline it, if say we basically do a 30-day all offers due by, that would be around September 1st,
Oh, yeah.
then the board wouldn't be able to vote unless we hold a special meeting or something until September 20, whatever it is.
You could circulate a summary to the full board and ADC of the proposals and the responses and what everyone said, and people could discuss it over email, and then ADC could authorize moving forward because the board has already done that. Or
Oh, that's actually not that long. Our board meeting is the 18th of
September.
September. And the ADC meeting, the ADC technically meeting is always the 15th, although we could always move that up if need be.
Okay, so I'll, if you authorize it, I'll run the brokerage side of things with bids coming back, ADC on the 15th of September.
80s, sorry, board meeting's on the 25th of September.
Oh.
At least that's what
Oh,
that's the first Monday.
I have it on my calendar on the 18th. It's Mike's invitation.
It's the holiday.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're so right, so we moved it to the 18th already.
What did you say?
He was right, we
Oh.
moved it because it's Yom Kippur on
I
the
think we need to
25th.
No, say it just like you said the first time. You did?
Thank you.
Oh, love him. I just said it. Feel bad.
I deserve it every time. My calendar says, now we're on the assignment.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk that out. One piece of like a traditional offer is you respond within 24 hours.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be kind of tough to ask people to submit a proposal
And then wait 3
and then
weeks.
wait 3 weeks.
Well, but that's the thing of people, well, right, so I think what we could do though.
I mean, Hudson Market's gonna wanna be like.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, they don't want to lose people because they're like, I need to buy today, I've got a situation, so
So you're saying 3 weeks is too long?
I think so. I think we should
Maybe
try
more
to.
than 24 hours.
Isn't it just that we approved the sale at a certain amount?
It's more, I think it's also so everyone feels like the proposals, if someone said like, I'm gonna turn this into a market rate hotel, and then someone else said, I'm gonna build
Yeah.
affordable housing. Like,
So I think what we should try,
Yeah, there's some discussion to it, exactly.
I think what makes the most sense is to ask them to do it so that it's an all bids due by some date.
Okay.
Say it's 30 days from next. Then ADC can review, maybe let's like schedule a meeting specifically to review, or we can do it over email. And then I think we probably need to just do a special board vote to go into contract
via email, just that way.
if we're allowed.
Yeah.
Okay, does that work? I feel like that makes sense.
So it'll be, tonight we'll authorize Mike to enter into this, enter the agreement. It'll be like a 30-day period. We'll schedule a special ABC meeting for that 30 days. And then have an email vote as a full board, basically.
So the ADC would authorize entering into contract, and nobody would be waiting.
So I think, yeah.
I think that's the one missing piece.
Yeah, no, that's just,
No, it would be that ADC reviews the proposals, makes a recommendation to the board votes to.
Special session. Email.
I think so.
It's also like a lot of moving parts, to be honest.
It's tough to go through a brokerage firm to do this. I think they were anticipating that we would just like, go sell the thing for the most money that you can, and they're willing to be flexible with us around this new.
I think the way to do it I think the way to do it is to authorize ADC essentially to authorize Mike to go into contract with the understanding that everything will be transparent with the full board. Cause so that like ADC can do that without 9 of us having to like logistically be available in 24 hours. And then, but obviously we will email and correspond with everybody so that there's no.
We also, that committee we treat this as public meeting. So as far as I'm concerned, anyone who's not on the committee who's interested in this can see proposals and join that call or voice your opinion over email,
Yeah.
whatever.
We can even circulate the proposals to everybody, couldn't we? Like, yeah, so like that's like a, yeah.
We'll do that.
So if someone makes an offer within the 30-day period, they're not gonna be considered until the end of that 30-day period?
That's what
Yeah,
I'm
it'll be like highest and best by.
Are they gonna wait?
It's almost like a broker run RFP.
Is it?
Yeah.
yeah, because they wanna leave it open for a while for other offers to come in.
But
so-
when we just do, your own house, so you don't do that.
I think a lot of
I
it
know.
do that. They'll say like, yeah, your offer's in by this date.
Yeah.
It's not 30 days.
It's not, it's not 48 hours.
I know.
To Wednesday.
Yeah, exactly. And
Well,
never heard 30 days
Yeah,
before.
I mean, I think like.
For 2 weeks.
I think partially it's difficult because people aren't gonna be able to get a mortgage.
It's August,
They're not gonna be able to send,
I don't think so.
so you think someone's just gonna come with cash?
I kind of think they're gonna have to, unless we wanna carry a mortgage.
Wait. Well, sorry.
Well, that is another way to do it, is to authorize Mike now to enter into contract with whoever the staff decides kind of thing.
If you like, I would like to make sure that it's in accordance, because I think we will get proposals from pretty wide range of someone like all cash, double what you're asking versus half cash, and the situation with my family, like we make it. And I would really like to make group decisions so people don't like. I mean, that honestly, I appreciate you saying that. I think I could run afoul of something that I didn't think of.
I also
It's hard because we're
tend
maximizing.
to think
No,
if somebody puts in an offer knowing that, you know, we're not gonna hear back until if they can't stick with it for 20 days, you're gonna have a real hard time renovating this house.
It's a little test.
Yeah, right.
Well, if it hits cheap old houses with 2.4 million followers, we're gonna get a lot of interesting responses, I imagine. But, and we should, what we did for our last public RFP, we say there's a minimum price of 174,995. If this, we say 189, minimum price. That might be a limiting factor, so we don't just get, I mean, it's cheap old houses. Somebody could be like, oh, I can submit anything.
Sorry, I missed the
I think we should put in a minimum price. So it's like an offer at a minimum price, and then everybody can go above that. I think that would kind of check the box for the primary reason we're doing this, which is we don't think we can turn it into affordable housing, and it turns into equity. So.
So, wait, what's this? So, for the purposes of this evening, the only thing we need to really vote on is we might enter into a brokerage agreement, and do we want to do it so the ABC company?
I think so.
Okay. So first I'm going to entertain a motion to authorize Mike Hilliard to enter into a brokerage agreement with
Hudson Mine.
Hudson Mines for the sale of 111 Down Street.
Yeah.
I need to say,
Motion to.
sorry, you need to be very quiet. Conservatively. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Now I will be entertaining a motion to authorize the members of the Acquisition, Disposition, and Construction Committee to authorize Mike to go into contract for the sale of 111 Downs following review of the bids.
So moved.
Discussion on that one.
Just curious, can you raise a motion if you're on the committee? Like you have to.
Yes, actually, I think it says it, yes.
It says that.
Any board member can raise
Okay.
any motion at any time, I think.
Yeah, I once had to make a motion to approve my own report. Yeah.
We should try not to do that very often.
Yeah,
It's
second.
been very dramatic a couple of times. Okay.
Second.
All in favor, do I have to repeat it? All in favor of that motion? Okay, great job, everybody. Did it.
It's good to Bob's.
Bye, Bob.
Not yet. Okay, probably.
Okay. Alright. Text cracking. All right. Let's pass the baton to Aaron.
So, this is my first time doing this since I took over for Nate, so I apologize in advance and thank you, Stacy. So let me. So why don't we start with the KCLB and then we'll do the Legacy Cities LLC. So this is the KCLB's profit and loss for the both. This is for the past 6 months. So you can see June here in the right hand column. Pretty standard month on this. You know, $25 in donations. We thank Daniel's siblings for those $25.
Five.
What? Oh, and Mike's $5, that's right. Thank you, Mike. There was some software expenses as per usual, some advertising stuff, I think related to marketing from the first round, first 2 homes, Legacy Cities, all the regular insurance items, and payroll and other professional fees, and then some clean out due diligence at the, would that be for the new for Legacy Cities?
Chapel.
Oh, okay, so for those
Can I ask you a
cities,
question?
yeah.
Why do we have automobile insurance?
Oh,
So we were just
that's
talking
a
about
question. That is a good question, yeah. We had to, the grant documents require that we do have to it because some of us are going from site to
Oh,
site, and
'cause
so you
you're-
have to cover the entity.
Now that you're employees.
We have to cover the state of New York. It wasn't an
Even
employee.
no, it wasn't even if you weren't employees, you still got it.
Business,
Well, right, company business, so then you wanna limit your liability.
makes sense.
I think it was also to limit the state's liability,
Yes.
so that if there was an
Yes.
auto-related claim and we were conducting work under the state's grant, the state could be sued.
Are they like additional, is the state, the employees of the state additional insured on the policy kind of thing?
Yes.
They're like,
every
The whole
policy.
state of New
Yeah.
York is.
amazing.
At all of it,
Wow.
Yeah.
wow.
Stringent insurance requirements. So that's that. Let's go over to did this move to the P&L? Wait.
Balance sheet, right?
Wait, we're on the P&L. Here's the balance sheet. Here we go. So on the balance sheet, again, nothing too unusual in June. The kind of main change you'll see down here in the assets, the Franklin line is now going up in the value of that asset because we're doing construction on that site. And so as we do construction on that site, it increases in value. You'll also see here, these $250,000. This was the transfer of $250,000 from our primary account in M&T to a 4-month, 8-month CD at Rondout Savings Bank at 4-point-something%. 4.65, no, 4.65, at 4.65%. So some of our, after a few months of talking about it, some of the money that we're gonna eventually put into our current projects is making a little interest, which is great. Thank you for everybody for doing that. I think that's really it for the main entity. There's nothing else too much here, a few minor changes because of cleanup and other things and at the little sites. I imagine, let's see, anything else, accounts payable, is this also, the accounts payable is higher because of a requisition for Franklin, right? Is that, am I? Yeah.
Yeah, so sometimes it's a timing.
Yeah, so there's a pending requisition for Franklin, and that's why the accounts payable is higher here. Anything else on this? Is it?
No, just the retainage goes up also because of Franklin.
Any other
Yeah.
questions on this one? All right, let's move over to the legacy cities. This is the balance sheet, here's the P&L. So let's just do the P&L again first. Actually, very little to say here. It's pretty standard month. There's not much that's actually occurred in June. Nothing out of the ordinary, as you can see. $100 for water, $350 in soft cost spending, and some interest, which continues to accrue interest on our bank loan from the Community Preservation Corporation. So because rates have gone up, our interest has gone up, especially as we draw down on that loan more, it continues to go up more, so that number will continue to increase. On the balance sheet, is this the right one? Oh, yeah, it is, yeah. See anything here to call out? The asset values, again, are going up. You'll see the significant increase to German, June, and then smaller increases to Hurley, to East Union, as a result of where they were doing work, finishing up German during that month. So now, in the following months, we'll see bigger increases to the values of Rogers and Curly as we do more work on those. You also notice a big accounts payable number, 119. That's because of a requisition 10, you said, right? Something.
It's 9.
The next requisition, which will be paid shortly, and so right now there's a lot of outstanding.
It was paid already?
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, it's paid already.
Like, so what
but
happens is these
because
requisitions.
it's all delayed. So this is June, so it has not been paid yet in June, but it was paid in July.
Yeah.
So that's why it's showing up here as significant accounts payable. And that is really it here.
You might want to point out the retainage going down, right, because we had some release of retainage.
Where is
So you, under the accounts payable, right under that?
the accounts payable?
That's
There it is.
Yeah, see, yeah, we released retainage, which is, that's good news that we're towards the end of those two houses.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So we released some retainage to GC.
That's retainage for Germany.
Right now, there's $4,100 of being retained for the punch list on the German and East Union. The other is for the other two properties.
Oh,
So-
okay. Great.
Any questions for me or more likely for Stacy? If that's the case, can I entertain a motion to accept my treasurer's report this evening?
Accept your treasurer's report.
Second.
In favor of accepting the treasurer's report. Motion passes. Beautiful presentation.
Yes.
Excellent.
Okay,
Nice, now you're all gonna get the hang of it, right?
Who's not me? Keep me away. All right. Does that conclude your?
that concludes finance.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, she put herself. Community engagement.
So, yeah. I'll say this is the committee where I think I could use the most help if anybody wants to jump into communications, community engagement, fundraising. I definitely feel a little bit out of my wheelhouse instead of looking at neither do personal the board, but anybody, please, we can always,
We might have another one.
there we go. This is one area where I just think like the more we can do stuff on an ongoing way is better and I think we always run into individual person capacity and I know that I say that for myself, you know, you do some and then you can't do it for a while and it's hard to start and stop so much. And so I think this is one committee where we'll see how things hopefully will evolve and improve in terms of what we do and how much we're doing and how consistent we're doing it. At least that's my hope, but because of what you're telling me. So in terms of discussion items tonight, as always, if there are things we need to be posted about on social media, please let me know. I think one thing that I never posted about while I was away was the nomination for the preservation award, and the presentation that you did, which I want to get up there. And
I'm not clear where are we nominated? Because
Somehow we're invited to nominate ourselves,
we've not, right.
which is,
Yeah.
it was kind of strange.
We're not a nominee, they like invited us to apply to become a.
Self-nominate, it's like a self-pollinating plant.
we can talk about how I word this in the Instagram and Facebook posts.
We should hear back in August, I think, right?
They said, I think they said August, but then it's like under embargo until October or something.
But you can't talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Well, yeah, the preservation of, so I don't know that it's normal to reach out to people and ask them. So like, I feel like maybe we just don't talk about it until they get talked about. I don't know. But we have plenty of other content sitting on.
The main other thing is we talked about doing an event for the first 2 Legacy Cities homes, one more before we sell them to the homeowners, and doing a ribbon cutting event where we do, maybe some fundraising, but also just really just let people walk through the homes and see what they were like. I think it was really successful the last time we did it. Even people, people who are not buying the homes, who don't know who we are, just to see what a finished home looks like. We also discussed that maybe pairing that event with the launch of the next marketing campaign. So that we can say at that event, this is a Legacy Cities home, this is one of our homes finished. We are also announcing today that we are going to be selling 3 more homes that you can now apply for. We talked about a preliminary date for that event. So you can mark calendars and say if you can't make it at all. We talked about Friday, last time we did it on Friday afternoon, between 3 to 5 p.m. We went back and forth. We initially said Saturday and then we moved it to Friday. So I think we still, go ahead.
I was just gonna say only because I checked in with the mayor this morning, so September 8th at 3 p.m. works really well for him. So he said
When is it?
September 8th at 3 p.m. I had sent everyone a calendar, like save the date, and I'll update it and confirm.
I think it would be some of the things we've done previously where we have a ribbon, take photos, like walk through the house, have some snacks and stuff. My t-shirt shrunk, but I can't wear it anymore.
I've got one left. It's a medium. That's all. We have more. Yes.
You got to go.
You need
For the
nothing.
meeting.
I don't remember now.
You have a shirt. Oh my
I
God.
missed
that's-
the ribbon cutting last time.
Oh my, yeah. Okay, we have no shirts left. One is reserved. Okay.
We should order some more
You
shirts.
have a crop top?
Exactly.
You can have my shirt. It's not great.
That's really it. I think, go ahead, Mike.
Could I just speak a little bit to the sales and marketing campaign?
Yes.
Because Kyle and I are taking the lead on that, and we didn't really dig
Yeah,
into it
please.
in the meeting, but I'm really excited about it. This is something I think we have a really good process around, but there was a lot of feedback that we received last time that we're incorporating into this round. So and I think we could have a discussion about it, and Kyle and I will take notes, but we heard have the flyer have a QR code on it, just make it easy. There's a ton of language you have to put on these flyers, but QR code goes right to the website. So we're doing that. We heard hold the event in conjunction with maybe a local event that's ongoing. I think Nate, you had mentioned that. If anybody knows where we should go for Halloween, I'll get dressed up as whatever and go hand these out. Like I'll do the Headless Horseman. I don't know if that's a thing. If there's other things that are coming up, because it would be, it has to be a 60-day campaign, so September and October. We heard we're going to be getting the bus. I think it's I can't remember the bus, but it's the one that stays in Kingston to zoom around, and we have advertising on the side of the bus for this, probably with a QR code on it, so people can scan it and drive by. There were other things that Kyle and I took notes on, and
We're gonna do the direct mail again, right?
totally, yeah. That was Kyle cracked the code on that. Kyle can navigate the US Postal Service. Got that piece. We talked about Eileen at Pathstone presenting with us at Boise's as an option to try to, kind of get in with folks there. We talked about a labor union meeting or maybe something with the hospital workers union, but someone has to help connect the dots.
I reached out to them during the last one, and I could not get anyone to respond. I think I need to walk into the hospital, like, who's the union rep here? Because I tried phone numbers, but emails, I couldn't get anyone to respond.
We put the building in lockdown. Hey, who's the union rep? Who's in charge? No, that's a great idea. I mean, we need to throw everything at the wall because I do think that we continue to have challenges meeting the ideal audience who can afford to buy the homes, and it's just tough. It's always been tough.
But this will be our biggest marketing campaign yet, 3 homes.
3 homes, yeah, 2 stories too, right? The end of Legacy Cities, the end of the pilot. There's like great narratives around it. I think it will be in stark contrast to other housing organizations who have affordable rehab homes. I call it press release. Conference. That was in March, but they were awarded them 2 years prior.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. I just think it will be in stark contrast. It would be great to be able to say we're selling and families here, and also we're selling 3 more. Isn't that great?
So we won't have a meeting in August, so by the time we meet next,
Oh, wow.
the marketing campaign will be in progress, that's not started. So
Great.
I think as we get closer, there'll be a lot more communication about all the flyers and stuff, we'll find a way, as we did last time, I think Mike did, like, maybe, I think we did last time, we left flyers in Bartek's drawer here, for his cubby here.
And out on the desk, I think.
Yeah,
That was-
take up flyers to go distribute them, and I think you'll probably create another tracker, people can sign up for things again.
We can do that.
So look at your email.
Ethel, if you can think of churches, I know last time there were a couple that were on your list, and I'd be happy to go to those. We went to a Spanish-speaking church, went to 2. I tried to go to the second one.
Second one didn't quite work, it's a weird thing.
We're gonna do better.
First one was great.
I just said that, you know, the Franklin home is, and the Hurley home, like, they have really high visibility. So, I guess the banners, because we have banners that are kind of like good. Like they say KCLB.org/homes, do they say that?
They do. Become a KCLB homeowner, find out more, KCLB.org, and that's, I think, what they say. I don't know where they are.
One is
They may have one of them.
What is
One is sitting in Grand Street.
I don't know.
We also put the 2 floating shelves that didn't get used from Greenco. These poor shelves just keep getting passed around.
Okay.
I saw one there,
Okay, so
one's
we've-
on the house that Roger.
Yeah, right.
Right.
That's kind of,
But that one is just for Maida Legacy
Okay.
City. Maybe that's what we do, because that one says Maida Legacy Cities.
Oh.
So we put that one on one of the Legacy Cities homes, and then Franklin gets to become a KCLB home. Cool.
That's it.
Thanks for letting me jump into that.
No, that's great.
If people think of anything, let us know.
We, Joanne, to learn about Radio Kingston, we did go on, we did a couple of things with them last time.
Yep.
We should, we'll do that again. They make us there. Cool. Cool. You wanna do the next one too?
Like, who's government for you?
That's fine.
Bartek.
Any
Anything else on communication and fundraising? Bartek?
we do have a new board member that, I will be recommending to the mayor to appoint Rebecca Aldris. So that's happening, and we sort of onboarded you. We feel onboarded-ish. It's a work in progress.
Is she local?
Yes.
Okay, we couldn't tell.
She is, lives downtown. Yeah.
Wisconsin?
From Wisconsin.
Okay, yeah. Oh, cool.
It's a perfect transition from Wisconsin.
Totally.
I went to Wisconsin-Madison, she went to Wisconsin-Madison, we all end up here, yeah.
That's true.
It's true, but the feeling of the first time met from.
You didn't like know each other there, like.
No.
That we know.
Yeah.
That's. No, she seems great. And she's really into housing issues. I saw her website. She's on the housing task force. Contributing member.
And I think her ideas and the way she thinks will be great input for the third island site discussion.
Totally.
You work with her?
Yeah, she's on the task force, so
Yeah.
cool, that's great. She's gonna help push our cottage court idea. Yeah, I hope, I mean, I'm going to. Yeah. She's presenting that.
Cool.
That's all.
That's cool. It's okay. Design committee has been fairly active, so we're in the early design stages of the second round of Legacy Cities properties. So the ones we feel confident about are 480 Habsburg, 52 Grand, 38 Chapel, and 69 Gill Street. So there are 4 volunteer designers as part of this experiment. So those are Jennifer Constantine, Christine Dobson, Brian Samuelson, and Jessica Williams, all regionally local and very talented. So they have now, all 4 of them have now walked through all of those houses. We've drawn straws for what order people are picking in, so I'm waiting on the first designer to make her selection and then down the list, and then those designers will sort of take the lead on their individual projects, and this is all a big experiment, but I think it's gonna be very cool. So, Owen and Mike, thank God, and Kyle like put together schedules and Gantt charts and ways to keep all of this organized, which is great. So that's underway, more to come. Website redesign last month, we voted on awarding the contract for the web redesign to Katie Dwyer Designs. We're trying to coordinate a kickoff meeting early next week, so stay tuned on that. In the meantime, if board members, whether or not you're on this committee, have kind of ideas about the website or features they'd like to see included or anything, I think no ideas are bad ideas at this stage, so email, call, text, do whatever to let us know. And we'll try to bring those into that meeting. And then merch is still just a wonderful idea that we're definitely gonna accomplish. So I think September 8th is a very nice deadline to get some stuff printed. Maybe we could sell some $24 KCLB mugs or.
$24 bugs?
We're fundraising here. They're hand thrown. And that's. I think all I really have on that. Any questions? Okay, we have a second public comment period, or what number has started later. New business, Joanna has volunteered to join a few committees, and I've told her I don't think it's too much, but you know, as with everybody, these things are flexible, so for now, I'm appointing Joanna, should she agree to the governance committee,
Yes.
the acquisition, disposition, and construction committee, and the design committee. Okay, we're very excited. Those today.
Yeah. We're small and mighty.
Any other new business? Well. Should we talk about the UFO hearing? Great. Then I will entertain a motion to adjourn. All in favor of adjourning this wonderful meeting we just had? Motion passes unanimously.